Ahem. Hey, yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to yet another YouTube live stream. Hope you're all doing very well today. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of good stuff going on. So, as per usual, if you're a regular, you know the drill. But if you're new, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, we do attendance. We do a little thing called roll call around here. So, if you're a sentient human being and you can hear my voice, say something in the chat. Say whatever your heart is telling you to say. That's super important. It's your right, and you should exercise it. Also, while you're hearing my voice, make sure to like the stream. Also, if you're not already, you better be subbed. You better be subbed. Also, consider being an ultimate Sigma Lord and becoming a member or gifting memberships. That's pretty crazy too. And consider super chatting, because we have a very interesting Saturday showdown. That's right. It's a Saturday showdown, ladies and gentlemen. The third one, where we're going to be doing a little waifu wars. We're going to be doing Frieren versus Rebecca. So if you do a super chat, make sure you do your vote for who is the supreme, quote-unquote, problematic waifu. But welcome in. You got quartering fatigue? Don't worry about it. We got no quartering today. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Saturday. Can you believe it? That was a very fast week. And also, let me not delay here too much. Let me reveal myself in a non-threatening way. On the wrong screen, of course. Now we're on the right screen. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I put my elbow on the cord there. Okay, we're back. We're alive. What's good, everyone? It is I, Rev. Ya boy. Welcome in, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now, let me get through some of these supers, but they're already rolling in, ladies and gentlemen. Rev jump scare, of course. Of course. Alright, we got a $5 super chat from 18 Wheels and a Drone, saying Cornball7453 has the Shoe on Head Champagne Socialist full version. If we have time, we'll have to check that out today. Thank you very much for that, and welcome back, by the way. And Phantom with the big $20 super chat. What are the oranges for? Sorry, you guys get a little more quartering fatigue today. Phantom says, a Rev is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to. Exactly. I've never been late to a stream. I am doing a tactical delay of my appearance. Right? Right. Much understood. Thank you, Phantom, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that greatly. Then we got a $2 super chat from Fallen Hero saying something in the chat. Well done. Very well done. And the Gold Recluse with the $10 super chat saying, I will lead the charge for Frieren. For Frieren. Forever. And always. That is the first super chat towards today's Saturday showdown. I will write it down. I got the sketch paper out. I got the pen. We're going old school, okay? We're going old school. So that's 10 for Frieren. Then Kaze coming in with the 10 Canadian bucks saying Frieren, prefer Fern. And on this Filian thing for the subway, I have a friend who rides the A train there daily, and he says, unless fastest clean ever for New York City, that tagging was never there, it's fake. And that was kind of what I thought too. And we'll talk about that. But thank you very much for that, Kaze. And I will put down... Actually, let me do the precise. Those are Canadian bucks. So we gotta keep it consistent. Do you hear the noise coming? We have a Straub sighting in the works here, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to wife.
I always have to push this so hard through the door. Hello.
Everyone say hello to wife.
I have arrived.
She has arrived. She has landed. So 10 Canadian bucks is 7 US dollars. And that, my friends, goes towards Frieren. There we go. Then we got 2 from Fallen Hero saying Frieren as well. Jeez, off to a blistering start. Where are the Rebecca stands? Guys, what the heck? And Bob with the 5 saying, did you see the mushroom cloud in Israel? No, I have not. Straub might be looking that up now. We'll see what that's all about. And Blue Scarab with the $10 super chat saying, what the hell, Rev? That's not fair. I love them both. But Frieren just barely wins till Rebecca comes out and Wuthering Waves, and that may make her higher if she is really good as a free 5-star. Fair enough. A smart investment. But we will put it down for 10 more for Frieren. But wait, ladies and gentlemen. 18 wheels and a drone with the orange. $20 donation. Saying, I'm definitely going to throw my chats in for Rebecca. Hi, Straub.
Hi.
Well, thank you very much. Making things interesting with a 20 for Rebecca.
They're claiming it was a controlled explosion.
Controlled explosion is what I'm being told.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. But do we trust them?
I don't trust anybody.
I don't trust nobody. Not even myself. I just trust the Lord. That's right. But let me show, guys. Oh, okay. I'll read this first. Quad Manny with a $10 super chat saying, hello, Rev. Opinion on Meatloaf. Frieren. That's 10 more for Frieren. Meatloaf. Straub can answer this. I love Meatloaf.
He does.
Meatloaf slaps. Always like that. It's a good question. Chat, opinion on Meatloaf. And it better be good. And Phantom with the 5 saying, gotta throw one in for Frieren. Okay. Rebecca heads. You're gonna have to, I have a feeling you're gonna have to do an uphill battle today, but that's okay. So for those who are not familiar with the Saturday night long-standing tradition of 3 Saturdays, we do a little showdown. Today it's gonna be the quote-unquote problematic waifus. Okay? It's gonna be Frieren versus Rebecca from Cyberpunk. Very important showdown. These are always very, very good. Today's an interesting one. We did pancakes, waffles last week. The previous week, we did Desu versus Demon Time. And there we go. And Lich with the $2 super chat saying Rebecca best waifu unless my girlfriend is behind me. Fair enough. Wise words. Thank you for the 2. And then Captain Jake with the $10 super chat saying, hey Rev, I'm hoping you and Straub are having an amazing day. Also, Rebecca got my vote because she is better, no offense to all the Frieren fans in the chat. Well, thank you very much. We're doing very well. It's been a nice day. And I hope you guys are having a great day as well. And that's 10 more for Rebecca. 10 more. And goodness gracious. David Martinez with the $20 super chat. The 20 spot. The orange, if you will. What is my model doing? Hello? Hello? I have to reconnect this thing.
Mine did that earlier, actually, a little bit. It might also be YouTube Studio.
Hello? Hello? There we are. Thank you very much, David Martinez, for the 20 spot, going right to Rebecca. Now, of course, throughout the night, we will do some updated tallies and let you know where we're at. But thank you guys so much for the supers already. We're going crazy. We're popping off, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe you should have.
I wonder why David would pick her. That's very fair. What?
So maybe you should have did her against Frieren.
Oh, Shinobu. Maybe next time. Chibi Eden with the 50 DKK saying, I can't vote for Rev or Straub. I'll vote for Frieren. Yo.
I just want to make it clear. I said we should include Rim, and he told me that no one cares about Rim anymore.
I said she doesn't have the weights she used to. That's all I'm saying. It's facts.
Oh, I think that's rude.
It's facts. That's around 7 more for Frieren. Thank you, thank you. But let me switch over. I don't want to waste too much time today, guys. We got the plushie campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see it right here. There is 3 days left. 3 days left, and we're at 471 units. In case you missed last time, if we hit, well, for every 100 units we hit, we get 1. But if we hit 500, that means 5 plushies will be given away by Uwa Market. We're that close. Also, the number of units raised is dangerously close to the concurrent player count for Mixtape right now. We got to beat them. Okay, by the time this campaign is over, we got to have more units raised than concurrent Mixtape players. I think we can do it. They're sitting at like 600 right now, and it's only going down, and we're only going up. Okay, this is very important stuff. Very important stuff. Okay? But if you are interested in the plushie campaign, like I said, 3 days left. Here's the 360 view. There is a link to this campaign in the pinned comment. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. This is the most important thing ever. Ever. More people end up buying a Rev plush than people playing trash tape. There will be more Revlings out in the world than there will be concurrent mixtape players. And I didn't need any journalists. I didn't need astroturfing from the industry. I did this on my own with the help of Straub as well.
You gotta be kidding.
What?
Once again.
No, wrong place. I gotcha. Buy them both, yeah. Drop your link, woman. You also got to get the Straub plushie, which you're close to 300, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm very close.
Very close to 300 over there. That's right. Bring them together. Buy some for your friends, okay? Yo, and Funky with the £5 saying, enjoy Bat Out of Hell. Oh, the other Meatloaf. Also, a waifu battle, Rebecca. All right, pounds. I want to get the actual correct amounts today. Let's see. That's 666. Goodness gracious. We're going to round it up to 7. That's 7 more for Rebecca. Then, Simon with the $5 super chat saying, I will do anything for a good meatloaf, but I won't do that. Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. And then you say, also, Frieren is completely based. I can respect that. That's 5 more for Frieren. I have a feeling today is going to be a very interesting competition. Nepo Baby Rev and his multi-billionaire wife Straub buying off all media journos to give his plushie 10s and 9s. I wish. But actually, you guys are the ones giving it 10s and 9s as far as I'm concerned. But you know what? You can do your part. You can leave a review. People have been leaving reviews. First ever something. That counts for something. But yeah. But seriously though, guys, thank you guys for all the super chats, and you know, it's gonna be a crazy one today. Which problematic waifu, problematic according to the Twitter freaks, will be the superior one today? What's up, my slur Rev? Well, welcome in. What a way to enter. Hope you guys are doing well today. It is the weekend. And also, once again, guys, I will be taking tomorrow off. Another Sunday off. I know. This is crazy work. 2 Sundays off in a row. I already recorded my video for tomorrow. So we're going to get the most out of today. That's how you got to live your life. Yo, and can we get some 07s in the chat? Right now. Stand and salute for Freedom Fries. Do a patriotic salute for Freedom Fries. With the 50 spot. Saying, not for the waifu, but as a token for good luck towards the campaign. Thank you very much for that. That is a very respectable choice right there. Thank you very much for the $50 donation. Giga Chad behavior. So thanks to you, Rev, I tried out some of that low-calorie, high-protein ice cream Halo Top brand. Was pretty good. Hey, yo, play Xenosaga. I'm glad you tried out the recommendation. Not sponsored, by the way. But yeah, I've been having a lot of protein ice cream recently. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is the protein ice cream the best ice cream? No. It's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. For like 300-ish calories and like almost 20 grams of protein for ice cream, that's pretty good to me. That's pretty good. Can't complain. The future is now, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting gains all over the place. Xenosaga sweep. That's right. Let me just check these tabs, and then we're going to get started on the first thing. We're going to talk about the Filian stuff, which I covered in my first video. We'll go over it pretty casually, of course. And then we'll get into some new stuff. Lots of new stuff. But you know me with my tabs, and I can't wait to start closing some of these tabs. I have a lot of tabs open today. It's terrifying. It's terrifying, ladies and gentlemen. It's also you who introduced me to Goodles, Rev. Chetty Mac is my favorite. Guys, I'm missing out. These food companies, they need my word of mouth. But things are going pretty well. I'm glad you guys like the recommendations. Tabs for your tabs, listen. That's above my pay grade. Alright? We're going to get started in about 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, I think this one is ready. Alrighty. Okay, let's switch over, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna start off. So let me give you the rundown of what we're talking about today. We got Filian. We got the Offkai Expo situation, which is a very messy one. How does Rev compare to Kirsha on the tabs? No, she's worse. Okay? Clearly. Then we're going to talk about the Mori situation, which is interesting. We might react to one video. Then we might talk about mixtape. Maybe, if we got time. And there was something else. Maybe some Hasan stuff. But that's about it. That's about it today, gamers. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, obviously a lot of people are asking the question, where is Filian? Okay, Filian, very popular indie VTuber. She's been MIA from streaming for quite some time. And, well, unfortunately, some Redditors and some blue sky psychopaths are very angry about her. Okay? Now, of course, we know that Filian has deactivated or at least kind of ripped up a lot of her social media accounts, and people are like, what does this mean? And of course, with the whole jokes about her getting deported when this first happened a couple weeks ago, people were like, Did they get her? But no, they didn't get her. It just seems like this. I'll put money on it. I'll put my stamp on it. I think this is an elaborate rebrand. Okay? It's a rebrand, and we'll see it in the next couple of weeks. But people are still talking negatively about. I love this GIF. They're still talking about her on Reddit. Okay, and this one is a very interesting one. Okay? Is this how you feel, chat? Do you feel this powerful? Do you? I hope so. I hope so. Just woke up what I missed. You're right on time. You're right on time. But Reddit made a very interesting post. Okay? On mildly infuriating. This person was mildly infuriated about this right here. New York City subway. Graffiti covering a beautiful 100-year-old tile mosaic that tells you what station you're at. And you can see it says, Filian is lost. Now this beautiful mosaic has been defaced. It hasn't. But they thought that a Filian fan, or Filian herself, according to some Redditors, went out here and tagged this wall in the New York City subway. Now, of course, number one, I think you all know this was a very real possibility that it was fake, and I am inclined, as some people have pointed out already, this was AI. This was something that people just did to get a reaction, but Redditors got very upset. Which is odd, because this is the first time I've ever seen Redditors angry about something being vandalized. I thought these guys loved the establishment getting vandalized. But I guess not when it's in the name of a problematic VTuber. And people in the replies to this were basically saying this is such a terrible thing to happen. Imagine people are going to have to clean this up and all this noise, right? Ridiculous. It's New York City. As someone who's been to the New York City subway myself, the New York City subway is disgusting. I'm sorry. And it's just like when I crap on California, right? The Californians will say, you're right, Rev. It's terrible here. If there's anybody who's been in New York City, they will agree. The subway is a mess. It is littered with graffiti. In fact, I'd be happy if all I saw was graffiti and not something more disgusting. Right? That's right, Lime Water. It's better than cleaning up blood, vomit, urine, or other bodily fluids that you might encounter in the New York City subway. It could be a lot worse.
It's also just not a mosaic.
It's not a mosaic.
That's not what a mosaic is.
But you know what? It got nearly 4,000 updates. 4,000 people agreed this is mildly infuriating until the post was removed. Yeah, I guess they didn't want to talk about that anymore. But don't worry, people on Twitter were mad, saying, fun fact, graffiti like that is usually sponsored to make whatever they're trying to shill appear more spontaneous than normal legal ads. It's fake. It's gay. It makes the world a little worse of a place to live in for everyone. Bad look for Filian, but I don't think she cares. Guys, Reddit's down the hall and to the left. Okay? First of all, implying that Filian's community, or even Filian herself, is responsible for this is crazy and should, be ashamed or feel bad. Is already ridiculous. On top of that, to think anyone's trying to do this as a paid promotion or something, delusional. On top of that, It's not even real. I will go out there. I will make the claim. This is not real. I can't believe people thought it was. And even if it was, it's the New York City subway. Okay? So Reddit doing what Reddit does, and they're whining about this. But what does Blue Sky think? Because I was curious. I was like, I haven't checked Blue Sky when it comes to all of the Filian stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on with Blue Sky? So I keyword searched Filian. And I got some interesting results, including one from this VTuber. A scuffed queen, trans, she, her, who's attracted to gender non-conformity. Interesting. So they made this post recently in wake of the Filian stuff, saying, okay, so all the Filian postings on her social have disappeared, and seeing as she caused a BOMB scare at the airport, which is obviously an exaggeration, made money from a stolen IP that's been addressed, and regularly collabed with Nazi-esque VTubers, i.e. Kirsha. Uh-oh. And based on that, they say, I hope this is a full, quiet graduation and not her coming back with a rebrand. Well, I have a feeling you're going to be sorely disappointed. But they mentioned Kirsha. Fox Woman mentioned. And they have proof of all this. They have proof. And here's the proof. In the thread. It's so heinous. It was lagging me out there for a second. Here we go. Here's the proof. Collab with Kirsha, who is mod for self-described neo-Nazi. Another one saying, a collab with Kirsha and Pippa. Oh, jeez. And another Kirsha collab. Goodness gracious. The proof is undeniable, ladies and gentlemen. And then you can see people, they get that right. This is true on Blue Sky and Twitter. If you provide something, as long as you have a caption that says something, people just believe whatever the caption says. And people are like, thank you for providing the sources. I appreciate it. Sheep. Bah. 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 Sheep. These people are sheep. Say it with me, chat. Bah. Bah. That's what they sound like to me. And people also bringing up the George Floyd joke. Filian made, what are we talking, 3-4 years ago at this point? Has it been that long? They're still mad about the breathtaking joke. And let's be honest, using it to justify all sorts of crazy things against her. But down here, you can see people saying she and her mom, Cha-Cha, both also made jokes about her being picked up and deported to the Philippines by ICE during the Minnesota occupation. As I've said before, these people live in an episode of The Handmaid's Tale. The Minnesota occupation. Terminally online. Terminally online, ladies and gentlemen. And what they're referring to, by the way, is this very heinous joke made by the VTuber Cha-Cha, who made a joke about Filian's MIA status, saying she was deported. It was a clear joke, but it made everyone in the VTubing scene very mad. The virtue signaling that came out of this was, well, predictable. Let's be honest, predictable. And the good thing is Cha-Cha did not apologize. She said, basically grow a spine, which was very refreshing to see in moments like this. But let's look at some of the quotes, because apparently Blue Sky has quotes, so you can check those out, to the original thread here, where this person says, I hope she is graduated. Need this to happen with all them racist / Nazi / toxic VTubers. I'm sure that's a very comprehensive set of buzz phrases right there. And then you see the people who are making this stuff. Anyways, here's another one. This person's saying, vindicated of what? I don't think she knows you, little bro. What are we talking about? It's absolutely crazy. Who are these people? And who's this? Saying, I hope Filian hurts herself. Effing Nazi. That's not very nice. But of course, you think, like, what kind of a person is making these unhinged comments? Well, this kind of person. A 18-year-old autistic trans femme, Marxist, Leninist, and sexual deviant. Do not interact, liberals, Dengists, Trotskyists, and Dem socialists. Wow. Very confusing. Very confusing person. At 18 years old, it's just completely over. This person it's over. They're cooked. They're absolutely cooked. But that's the kind of person having a meltdown over here and wishing harm on people online. And obviously, you know, hammer and sickle in the username. To be expected. What kind of a bio is that? A long list of indoctrination. That's what that is. Yes. But that's really the Filian situation, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to close these tabs. Oh, it feels good, chat. That's a lot of very high energy tabs right there. Thank goodness. It's gone. It's gone forever. But I'm going to catch up on some supers here. And then we're going to move on to the next topic. My goodness, we're falling behind already. Trapper Scout with the 5 saying, Frieren. It's 5 for Frieren. Thank you for that. And Funky with the £5 saying, Filian will return as soon as Neuro and Evil break her out while Cha-Cha distracts the guards. Good point. Very likely. Then 18 Wheels and a Drone with 10 saying, saw a news article that whey protein is expected to rise in cost due to high demand. Casein protein is better for cooking because it's more heat resistant. You can throw my initial 5 in for Rebecca. Okay. We'll do that as well. 5 more for Rebecca. Thank you for that. And then we got 5 Canadian bucks from Gormist saying, oh dang. First chance I've had to catch you live. Been seeing your vids on my feed for a while. Just wanted to pop in and say, hey yo. Well, I appreciate that very much. Welcome in. Glad you could catch the stream. Then we got 5 more Canadian bucks from Kaze saying Redditors and Blue Sky Psychopaths. I didn't know there was a difference between the two. They're all crazy. More for Frieren. All right. Add you in for Frieren. Thank you for that, Kaze. And then Kaze with another 10 saying, hey, look at the grout there. Black spray paint would make the tile grout black, but there is no color change at all between the rest of the grout. Yeah. It is absolutely psyops, ladies and gentlemen. Some AI-produced nonsense, as per usual. But, yeah, didn't get past people here. Right? Did not get past people here. But thank you very much for that. And then we also got 5 from Phantom saying, attracted to non-conformity. What does that even mean? Chat, I'm asking you. What does that even mean? When someone is attracted to gender non-conformity. I've never heard of that before. There's a first for everything, apparently. I don't even know what that means. I think. Maybe? I don't know. I'd rather not think about it. Fair enough. And Slyry with the 5 saying, Rev, where is Filian? And what in God's name are the oranges for? Guys, another question. What are the oranges for? Please, someone help us. We'll never know. Alright, Quartering, keep your secrets. And Spartan with the $5 super chat saying, Frieren attracts Nazis according to Twitter, so my vote goes to her for making them need a refill on meds. That's where you're partially wrong. They don't get a refill on their meds. They just don't take their meds. Hence, why they freak out over all this stuff. But that's 5 more for Frieren. And then we got 5 more from Gilgamesh saying, gotta choose Frieren. It's what Himmel, the hero, would do. Absolutely. That's 5 more for Frieren. Thank you for that. And then Catalyst knows what the oranges are for. With the $20 super chat saying, are you bone smashing your jaw if you have your blue thing hammer? Careful not to injure yourself. Continue to hit the gym, but don't go looks maxing. This is very true. Guys, you gotta be careful with the looks maxing. You know? Be careful with the hammer, apparently. Crazy world we live in. I did see the looks maxing, I guess, documentary that's on Hulu. I think it was Hulu. And I was just like, wow. We live in a society. What is the blue thing? We gotta do the blue thing soon. I gotta get on that, folks. I gotta get on that, okay? It's blue thing time soon. And Choco with the $5 super chat saying, they wear their indoctrination like they are college degrees. Also, 5 for Xena. Just kidding. 5 for Frieren. Very nice. 5 more for Frieren. Right now, just eyeballing this. Rebecca Heads, you gotta get going. Where's the Stogie rev? Good question. That's a great question. We did hit our super chat goal for today. It's Stogie time, ladies and gentlemen. I'll pull it out for this great occasion. That looks terrible. There we go. Stogie acquired, ladies and gentlemen. Looking good. Looking good. But thank you guys so much for all of the super chats thus far. Thank you, thank you. What do you guys want to talk about next? I'm thinking there's no red dono. I did say the super chat goal for today was a Stogie. I did say that. So this is a different occasion. Now, of course, that shouldn't stop anyone from doing a red. I mean, obviously. But it was a part of the super chat goal, which was achieved. Round of applause for all of you. Again. So what do we want to talk about next, guys? You want to do the Mori stuff? Or some Hasan stuff? What do the people think? What do the people think? I'm open. I'm open. Ladies and gentlemen. Dubs in the chat. We should talk about Xenosaga. Really? Have not heard that. Mori, Hasan, Mori. It looks like Mori. It's looking like Mori. What's the score? Seems like Frieren is winning by a mile. I think after we do... So we're going to talk about the Mori stuff. We will do the Mori stuff, and then we'll do a tally. So, yeah. Rebecca Heads... I think you're going to need to do some heavy lifting here. I think it's close-ish. But Rebecca Heads need a chance here. They must act. They must act. But one more. We got Frieren with the 2 saying whiskey and cigars. Yeehaw! That's right. That's right. Frieren is just goated. I mean, I can't knock anyone today. These are all good choices. Okay. I'm about to switch over here. Da-da-da-da. Becca fans don't owe money right now. So true. So true. What do we got here? Demon time! With the $10 super chat saying, have you seen Game Oververse? I imagine you have heard of it, but I'd like to say how funny it is because Aaron Hansen voiced 2 characters. I deluded myself to hear him voice characters he didn't. I have not, actually. I have not. Am I a filthy tourist or something? Smoke it up, my guy. Thank you, Freedom Fries. I'm smoking it up. The stogie time. Okay. In case you guys did not hear yesterday, I am a little sick. Let me just go blow my nose so I don't sound so like nasally. Give me 30 seconds. Then we start, okay? No funny business. No funny business. Scatter! Scatter! Everyone scatter! I'm back. Yo, Funky, thank you for the £2 saying, Rev loves it when a plan comes together. That's right. All according to Koiketsu. That's right. Okay, boys and boyettes. Let's get started. Let's get started on the next topic. Next topic. So there's been a lot of discussion about Mori recently. Obviously, everyone knows she's from the OG Hololive English generation. She's been on some, I guess, hiatus recently for reasons that weren't too clear, but her recent return came with a stream where she talked about things and raised some interesting discussion that people are being totally normal about. Don't worry. People are being totally normal about Mori raising some issues that she's claiming are going on with Hololive and some ways she's putting pressure on management to fix them. But like I said, she did return to streaming and she had some things to say about her absence. And I definitely think it is worth listening to, so let's listen to a little bit and then we'll get kind of a TLDR of the rest.
What I'm doing. In a positive way, which is another reason why I was like, yeah, pretty happy to roll back on in today. Roll back on into town. The sheriff is back.
The sheriff is back.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like me getting the hell out of here for 2 weeks, it was kind of a long time coming because I had a bunch of notes, so here's how I'm gonna explain to the deadbeats why I decided to take a 2-week break and what. I had a bunch of notes. I think I'm just not gonna read them. I think I'm not going to. I think I'm just gonna choose
Off
my
the
words.
Fun fact about your boy Rev. No notes. Nothing. Also, I increased the volume, so that should help.
2 parts. There are two major parts to me being like, oh man, I gotta stop this for a little bit. Half of it is anger and disagreements with the company, and then half is my own issues that I recognize are like my fault. Yeah, so
it's pretty interesting to hear someone from Hololive or any big VTuber agency actually say, like, I got some issues with management or things going on with the company. It's pretty rare, but I think it should happen more often. Hot take, maybe, but I think this should happen more often. Like, yeah, if things aren't going the way you want and you're a big talent, well, maybe you should speak about it. I don't know.
So there's two parts. Yeah, the first part I feel is especially kind of, yeah, got folks riled up, but yeah, I think sometimes at a certain point there's only so much like words can do, you know. You like ask over and over again, hey, can we fix this? Hey, look, I don't agree with this. I don't think this is fair and whatnot. And all you hear back is, all right, we'll send in your feedback. And then you never hear back. And then another problem happens, and then you put it on the list, and the list gets longer and longer and longer. And then at a certain point, I'm like, well, I'm gonna do something now. Every workplace ever, exactly. Every workplace. So
basically what she's saying is she had a list of issues that were growing and growing, and they weren't being addressed. So, bless you. What seems to be the issue here is, well, she's not getting what she wants. Therefore, she takes this 2-week break, hoping it puts pressure on the agency, on Hololive, to make sure things actually change. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for her.
Case isn't exactly special or anything like that. I do want to say it was not my intention to scare you guys, but I wanted to get Cover's attention. You know, this is what it was. I wanted them to message me and say, all right, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm happy you asked. And I wrote like the longest paragraph I've ever written in my life to my manager, who's done nothing wrong, by the way. And so I feel terrible, but I did what I had to do. And I feel like, you know, it's just tough. I felt like there was nothing I could do. And one thing that I feel like is extremely like strong, my strong point that I'm actually really proud of is that I have a very strong will. I'm like an extremely willful being where I believe that if I put my nose to the grindstone and work super hard and just always go at it and give 100%, someday something good's gonna happen for me.
Okay, you could be the biggest Mori hater ever. You can't take away the fact that she clearly puts a lot of work into what she does, like across the board. But yeah, she's a very big deal to Hololive. And I see people bringing up like Gura, for example, right? One of the reasons she had her graduation is issues with management. So hearing this again, given the current circumstances and also the recent reports coming out of Hololive financially not looking the best, this is happening at a pretty tumultuous time right now. Where, yeah, if you want things to actually change, taking a sort of brief departure and putting them in a corner, it's going to work. Now, some people might like this. Some people might think this is a terrible move and putting things into jeopardy, but I don't know. I think during this, you'll see she understands how good it is to be a part of Hololive and how important they are, but at the same rates, you got to do something for yourself, right? What do people hate on Mori for? Like everything. It started with like, oh, she's like a rapper, that's cringe. And then it just evolved into everything. It's like Twitter will Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's just like she's an easy target for people for whatever reason. She was selected, you know?
And look at all the freaking wonderful things that have happened because of that. So I live with that like mindset, right? And so I felt like I lost my will. At a certain point, it sounds all dramatic, but I really did. You know, I felt like it was gone at a certain point. There was like a very specific straw that like broke the camel's back. That I might mention a little bit. My behavior's been a little rebellious though since I got kind of ticked off. Yeah, and I do kind of,
She's in active rebellion, ladies and gentlemen. Active rebellion. Her work has actually gotten better over time. Yeah. Yeah. And always, like, you can think what she's doing is cringe. Does that mean she should be harassed? No. The simple solution to people who don't like her or what she does is to what? Not watch her. But people want attention on social media, so they constantly attack her, and it's like a regular thing. Every couple of weeks or months, there's like a big dogpiling on social media going after her for X, Y, or Z. Half the time it's just made up stuff. But yeah.
Feel a little bad about it, but at the same time, when words aren't enough, you kind of have to, take action. And I think the really rough situation, the rough truth of it is that I think a lot of people see me as like one of Cover's like biggest supporters. I've like gone to bat for Holo like so many times. As somebody who in the beginning was like on the fence, and then I became such a huge Holo fan, it just became a part of me, and so I think people see me as somebody who's always, especially recently, gone to bat for Cover, and so I know the weight of my words when I say, I'm having issues with them. But so many other people have also done the same, and I've just kind of like, been quiet. But there's a reason for that. I'll give you the main.
I think to get to the brutal honesty here, I think the whole thing with kind of her influence on the company right now is the fact that she is one of the big English VTubers from Hololive left. Right? She's pretty much one of the top people left. We know the original English generation has lost members and they've moved on. I mean, it's been a long time. Guys, it's been almost 6 years. Right? It's been almost 6 full years since the original debut back in 2020. So, time is going to eventually wane on everyone. That generation wasn't going to stay there forever. Things were going to change eventually, but you can see, we're going to get into the TLDR of the rest here in a second. But she's basically saying, I'm not really happy with how things are going, so I took a break, hopefully to get noticed, and I had to apply even more pressure to start getting some answers and some changes addressed that I'm hoping for. But here's a TLDR, right? Her frustrations reportedly include English concert management issues, feeling the English side is undervalued internally, merch/revenue split concerns. I mean, hey, it's not just Niji Sanji that has those issues, but main branch management overlooking the English one, and she says she wants to stay in Hololive and does not want to abandon the company and believes they still offer opportunities that are impossible as an indie VTuber, and she says they have addressed these concerns. Which, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I kind of understand why they overlook the English branch. It's still not like their biggest focus right now. I feel like it's lost some of its influence over the years with big people like Gura leaving. But at the same rate, you know what? The opportunities offered by Hololive, you can't do as an indie. You really can't. Even as Demon Dice, oh my gosh, I exposed the past life. Oh my goodness, that used to get you like canceled, but now people don't care. Her past life or indie career, whatever, is already huge, and well, she would have a lot of opportunities, but you do lose a lot by leaving groups like Hololive. So this is one of those situations where, like, I don't know, people are going to feel maybe that was too parasocial talking about this, maybe unfair to Hololive. Some people might think it's a great idea. I don't know. It's really up to you, but I think it's an interesting turn of events. It's at least things we haven't seen that much to this point. But, yeah, curious what you guys think. I'm curious, ladies and gentlemen. Well, click the wrong thing. By the way, I was in the middle of it there. 07's in the chat for Freedom Fries with the 5 gifted subs. Hey, yo. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, thank you. And also, Nightshade with the $5 super chat saying, had to light up my own stogie since Rev has one, and I gotta throw my lot in with Rebecca. All right. Thank you very much for the 5 going to Rebecca. Thank you, thank you. These companies need to straighten up. That's the thing, too. I feel like a lot of these, especially big VTuber agencies, they need to tighten up a little bit. I feel like with the indie wave, where a lot of big corporate VTubers have left and gone indie and had crazy success, I think people need to, in these organizations, realize there are other pastures to go to. I feel like VTubers get too parasocial when they bring real-life issues and daily going-ons. If members can't bring that stuff up, then the VTubers can't bring those things up. That's fair. That's fair. Hey, Rev, did you hear about Offkai's new sponsor? Has Rev talked about this? Well, it's going to be the second video for today, but we're also going to talk about it live on stream. We're going to do that next. We're going to do that next. If the Odyssey was passed down as oral poetry, which is analogous to rap music, then white people rapping shouldn't be cringe. An amazing point. A very fair point.
I don't think it is cringe.
That's the whole point, Straub. That is the whole point. But also, Straub, would you like to talk to the chat while I do a tally here?
Sure, I'll talk to chat. I'll entertain them.
I'm doing the tally for this, ladies and gentlemen. The Versus series for today. That's right. Frieren versus Rebecca, the best problematic waifu out there. I'm going to do a tally of what we got so far, but if you want to make your voice heard, go ahead and drop a super with your choice of best waifu. Do not let your waifu down. Do not let your waifu down. And don't let Straub down.
Don't let me down. Hello.
Wait, read that one. Read that.
What? Oh. From this one?
Yes.
Thank you, Afro Treesiac with the 5.
What's up, dude?
Frieren knows what men want. P.S. Is it bad that I still kind of want to watch Odyssey because Nolan has a solid track record of movies?
That's fair. Was that 5 for Frieren?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't actually looked into it very much, so I don't know. Hello, chat. All I know is Rev was complaining about it to me. And did you make that video on it? Did you make a video on it?
Yes.
He made a video on it. Ahem. Hello. Say, demon time. Demon time. I heard Sniffles does Straub have a cold? He better not be giving me what he's got. His
Actually, you
gamer
can punch
gunk.
these in if you want.
Okay. Where is the thingy at? Oh, there's another one right there for Frieren. I'm here late. This isn't fair. I love them both. Oh, Lander, thank you for the 5. But if I must pick, then I have to pick Frieren, unless I can give a tally to both.
It's going to Frieren. There.
Okay.
Put in... That's a dollar sign. There's the tally. It's
He
the
did
bottom one.
hashtag.
All the way down. I must blow my nose.
Okay. See, he's a sicko. He better not make...
More ways than one.
In more ways than one, apparently. He better not make me a sicko. Oh, and then another 10 from Luke. Oh my gosh, you guys. Making me do math now. I'm not good at math. Okay.
get? What'd you get?
Well, now I had to do more math.
Oh, boy.
That's correct.
What
right?
are you how do you need to, like, write that out? What is wrong with you?
I wanted to make sure it was right.
Oh, jeez. You gotta keep up. Did you even read his donation?
No!
You gotta go back. Go back.
Hold on.
No, you got... See, now it's all off. It's off.
Hold on. I'm about to get...
You're literally
I'm
ruining
about
my
to
system.
get to it. No, I'm not. I'm making sure it's accurate and updated.
You're updating without checking off
I'm
those
about,
or writing them down.
I'm about to. I know in my head which ones I just clicked on.
I don't trust your head with math. You're on the wrong... Look at what you're doing.
I don't know where I'm going.
The screen is starting. You're not on the right one.
Okay. Luke with the 10. Frieren committed the unforgivable sin of saying that some creatures can't be reasoned with. She wins hands down. Lynch. Captain with the 5. If I could choose an option C, I'd say Ember Paradox, but if I had to choose between the two of them, I'll go with Frieren.
Mom and Dad are fighting.
I know, he's being so mean to me. And Cape with the 10, as much as I like Frieren, this one's for Rebecca. Oh, crap, I messed it up, actually. It was for Rebecca.
What did you do?
That last 10 was for Rebecca.
Oh, my God.
I feel like he's so mad at me. I'm sorry, I'll fix it. Hold on, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. No.
Hurry up. Hurry up.
Stop! I don't like that.
Oh,
So now we're at 112 right here. And this is actually 77.
Faster. Faster.
He's so mean to me, chat. Like, I'm so...
And then there's 5 more. Keep up.
I'm going as fast
What?
as I don't know where I am. New just chatting scene. You should call it something better than that.
Probably.
And Luke with the 5. With Frieren. Plus 5. Thanks. Making this one for Marigold. And Phantom with the 5. Kind of feel bad for Rebecca. I'll throw some at her too.
There we go. Thank you.
Thanks. Plus 5.
Oh, it's Billy Donuts. Hello, Billy Donuts. Giving out donuts.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Confirm
update it.
Straub can't math. Actually,
It's a struggle.
I did do math. I literally wrote it out and did it. Thank you very much.
Amazing stuff, chat.
That was literally me showing my work right there.
Yeah, that's hard to watch. Wait, so what is your system here? So wait, are we missing... What do I have to add here?
You don't gotta add... Well,
It's
I
5
mean,
more to each.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
well?
Yeah, 5 more to each. That was the ending total here, and that was the ending total here, and
Okay.
then plus 5, plus 5.
Okay, 5 more to each.
Basically, I'm so intelligent, and he just can't keep up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the current total of today's showdown. Okay? 117 smackaroos for Frieren. 82 smackaroos for Rebecca. It's anyone's game.
To be fair, I did do the math right. I just read their message wrong and applied it to
Amazing.
the wrong person.
Amazing.
I just want to put that out there. What is P50? From the Philippines?
But this is the current total. We'll check in again in about, I'd say like 15 minutes. And here we are. Look at that smooth transition. First try. Professional streamer, by the way.
Well, it's your stream. You know which one is which. That's not fair.
But it's anyone's game, ladies and gentlemen. Speak now. Or disappoint your waifu. By not super chatting with your choice. That's right. The pressure is on. But, oh geez, the amount of reloading this is going to have to require. This is diabolical, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be that bad. Okay, it's pretty bad. We're going to talk about the Offkai Expo situation, which involves a little bit of the Kirschinator. Trademarking that one.
You shouldn't.
This page is not reloading. Please. I beg of you, browser. I am begging. There we go. This one, that was quick. Thank goodness. I can close that. Not a scuff stream, by the way. Don't play that video. Don't do it. Screenshots. Of course, it plays the video. You fools. Good enough. Make that smaller. I'm working through it. I'll get to your super chats in a moment. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. I will address everything. Everything. Okay, got that. Got that. Got that. Got that. And got that. Beautiful. We're ready, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready. Okay, let me put this up. So as a little primer, let me ask you guys. How many have heard of Offkai Expo? And if so, what are your thoughts about this VTuber-focused convention? Go ahead. Don't be shy. Don't be shy now. Also, do I not have music playing in the background? Colossal L. Scuff stream, my bad. Ew, nope. Heard about the sponsor. Yeah. Nope, oh no. Mid. Don't know much about it. Only bad things. None. Well. We'll get into it, folks. We're gonna get into it. Uncertain? Well, don't worry. I will let you know. No Kirsha, no Rev. That's right. No Kirsha, no Rev, no Straub. Convention canceled. What else is there even there? Right, Straub?
Yeah, we were on a trash can.
We were on a trash can. What a great time. Actually...
They snuck us in.
Do I want to pull that up?
Do you have it somewhere?
Well, I uploaded... I don't have, like, the video. Nah, who cares? People know the lore. I can explain. Okay. So let's talk about Offkai Expo. So this is a VTuber-focused convention that's in California, of all places, which will make a lot of sense as we go through this. And, well, it takes place in mid-July, but there's some concerns about convention goers being exposed to things they might not be appropriately seeing. And that has largely to do with their recent sponsor. I noticed this is the most recently added one, and it seems like a pretty interesting one for a convention that is not an 18+ convention. They're sponsored by Fansly.
What?
Have you not heard about any of this?
I've been off.
Well, you're in for an interesting story.
Grid.
She's off the grid. Yes, they are sponsored by Fansly, as described by their own description. Fansly is the site, not a site, the site for spicy VTubers and more. This 18+ site is full of the top VTubers in the space, with the ability to sell paywalled content, their bodies, stream, and connect with their fans. Find your next Oshi at fansly.com/VTuber. Well, I'll tell you this. You're probably not going to find a lot of VTuber related activities if you go that route. But that's their sponsor. Seems like an odd choice. Well, hold on a second. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on a second. 07's in the chat for Metachan with the 20 gifted memberships. That is worth a pause right there. Yeah, holy moly, 20 gifted. Hey, yo. Thank you very much for the 20 gifted memberships. W Gifter. Rev Fansley, never. That's when. Never.
That's disgusting.
Not if I was facing homelessness and that was my only chance to save myself from the streets. The streets would be calling. Which is kind of ironic given we're talking about Fansley. But anyways. W Gifter. And whoa. Madachan with another 10 gifted memberships. Why do I keep saying gifted subs? Am I saying that? Did I hear myself?
I don't know.
Thank you for the 10 additional gifted memberships. That's 30 gifted memberships. That's 30 happy new members of the stream. 07s. Thank you very much for that. You are too kind. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? Oh. Very true. Wait a second. Did you really just drop 30 gifted memberships, then become a member yourself? Based? Thank you very much for that. That is the ultimate Giga Chad move right there. Much appreciated. Thank you. No problem. Look, thank you very much. You made a lot of people happy. But, back on topic, ladies and gentlemen. Offkai Expo today announced their collaboration, saying your next Oshi is waiting. We're excited to announce that Fansley is joining Offkai Gen 5. Come find them at the exhibitor hall and meet some of their incredible talents. And you can see the official sponsor here, Find Your Oshi at Fansley. Fansley is the best 18 plus site to find your next Oshi. And so much more. And so much more. Wink wink. Yeah, this is not going over very well, as we'll see. But what is going over well is another 10 gifted memberships from Madachan. Yo. Unbelievably based. Unbelievably based. Everyone's getting gifted memberships. Everyone's coming in. Give me a second, I'll bring it to 50. Bet. Yo, bet. But you guys can see why this might cause some issues. Okay? Like, regardless of your feelings about Fansley or VTubers using Fansley, right? Regardless. See people bringing up a fair point here. Okay? Kids walk around during the day. Surely this is not going to be done while kids are around, correct? Surely we're not really going to put adult content in front of children, right? Well, one of the people to weigh in on this is Kirsha, and we will see why in just a second. Guys, will y'all relax? What is going on here? First of all, Madachan with another 10 gifted memberships for 50 total. More 07s in the chat. Let me clean up all these gifted memberships before we get into the Kirsha aspect here, okay? Absolutely insane. What is going on? And then, my thing keeps reloading. Phantom with the 5 gifted memberships as well. 07s for Phantom. W Gifter. But then, yet again, Toast the Cat with 5 gifted memberships as well. W Gifters. 07s everywhere in the chat. Everywhere in the chat. Whales in the chat? Sure. The Oilers have arrived. Rest easy, folks. Rest easy. Thank you guys for the crazy support. That's a lot of happy new Rebelings. Saturday is gifted membership night. That's right. It's official now. Yes, I have the stogie, the cigar, because I'm the boss. That's right. Straub agrees.
The boss.
But anyways, guys, the reason why Kirsha would have an opinion about this is, well, not only is she sharing concerns many have, she has a bit of a chip on her shoulder when it comes to Offkai, okay? If you guys don't remember, back in, I believe it was 2023? 2023 or 2024, Offkai blacklisted Kirsha. Now, they blacklisted her as a guest with a panel, but they didn't blacklist her as a guest. They said you can still pay for a ticket and come and spend money and do that, but you can't be a guest anymore because you do wrong thing. And I made this video back when this all happened, and you can watch that video for the full context, right? But this is my favorite screenshot where Kirsha's talking to someone from the convention, asking, like, what's going on? What's the problem? And they eventually say a lot of the complaints come from comments she made about gender identity and DEI type issues. And she was provided with links to tweets that expressed these problems. My favorite example here, that's very funny. This is so bigoted that she couldn't be an official guest anymore. Discord was introducing the pronoun feature for their platform. And she shared this screenshot where she listed her pronouns as Burger Queen. And they said, whoa, buddy, it's a little too much. We cannot support such dangerous behavior. Munya chat. Exactly. So, of course, going through that, she has a bit of a chip on her shoulder when it comes to Offkai. And I also, me and Straub, have experience as well. Because when we saw that go down back a couple years ago, me and Straub were supposed to be featured virtual guests at Offkai. And we said, that's messed up. If you don't bring back Kirsha, we're going to walk. And guess what? We walked because they never fixed the issue, which was a big mistake. But we still made an appearance. If you know, you know, there's some extensive lore out there. Some members of Kirsha's community ended up finding a little tripod, and we did a meet and greet in the back alley of the convention. Great time, by the way. We even got pushed through the convention, got to see everything inside. Very fun. It was a rebellious action on our behalf, right? We have principles, which is based, exactly. Although people then said on Twitter, all of the usual suspects, they're like, Rev and Straub got kicked. They didn't do anything. They just got kicked because they're bigots. It's like, no, we had principles. We said we don't stand with what's happening here. We don't support it. Therefore, we're going to take a stand. We have principles to follow through on.
It's a bad precedent, just getting rid of someone because you don't like what they say.
Absolutely. Would it have been really fun for us to be virtual guests? Sure. But I would have felt bad about it. It didn't feel right. So we stood on business. We stood on business. Paste Moonshine and Bagman. Very based. They helped with the whole thing. What do I make sound cringe? You?
No, I said you make it sound cringe.
You're cringe? What are you talking about?
Cringe.
Also, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. 07's in the chat for another Euler Freedom Fries. Can we get some patriotic 07's for the 10 gifted memberships? That's a lot of gifted memberships, ladies and gentlemen. That's a lot. We stand with Kirsha. We stand with Foxu. The people are clear where they stand. But thank you guys for all the gifted memberships. Very cool. Very based. Thank you. But here was Kirsha's response, raising a very valid concern, saying, why is this marketed in the exhibitor hall instead of the after-hours yabai markets, when this is also a convention that allows unaccompanied minors? And she's not kidding. So this is straight from their website, and I'll prove it's from their website. There's their facts and questions saying, I am between 13 to 17 years old. Do my parents have to accompany me at the convention or attend the convention? And this is their answer. From 13 to 17, minors may attend the convention on their own, with or without their parents, with written permission from your parents or a legal guardian in order to attend. Permission is obtained by downloading and printing out the minor consent form. Your parent or legal guardian must fill out the form and then have it taken to a notary and signed in the notary's presence. The other way permission can be obtained is to have your parents come to registration with you and fill out the parental consent form on site. Only in California, ladies and gentlemen, would this be allowed. Now, what's very important to point out here is that the Fansly event is taking place in the exhibitor hall, not the yabai market, which is 18 plus. Now, they don't make any efforts to make it clear there's some sort of a check-in process. They just announced this as a part of the exhibitor hall, which is, from what we understand right now, open to people who could be unaccompanied minors from 13 to 17. Do you see how this might be a problem? Not good. And if you are so hellbent on getting Fansly so involved with this convention, either A, make it very clear in your message, your announcement, these things are separate, no minors will be allowed to be in the area, or here's a crazy idea, really crazy idea. If you want to lean into adult content so much, like Fansly for example, how about you make the entire convention 18 plus and just let no kids in whatsoever? Whoa. I know, that's crazy. So this is fine, but Kirsha is not. That is the hypocrisy people are mentioning. That is the hypocrisy. They didn't think this through. That is the minimum, right? At the very minimum, they did not think this through at all. And guess what? When you're mixing Fansly potentially with children at an event, you need to think it through a little more. Children belong in the mines. Children love Minecraft. They yearn for the mines. But this is ridiculous. And in case you are wondering, what she cited is on their website. That is a direct quote from their own website. So there's no mistake to be made here. This is as of right now. And oh, here's that minor consent form, by the way. Very dystopian and weird that this is even an option in order to bring in minors. Again, just make these events 18 plus. Like, there's already enough arts and merch and VTubers and other things that are already heavily leaning into adult content. Just make it 18 plus. Especially when you're going to lean in so heavily. Right? Let me guess, there's people saying she's wrong about what she said. Of course people are trying already. I didn't see too much, but people are basically saying this is like hypocritical or something. Like, they're like, oh, well, you're like pro-censorship now, or you're not understanding. I understand what she's saying. Exhibitor hall versus the yabai market. The fact that they're not having it in the 18 plus section is weird, right? And people are being intentionally obtuse in order to be mad about Kirsha, right? That's what they do. That's what they do. Because white fox you bad, that's right. But the reality is, The only thing that's really bad here was the idea itself. It was a really bad idea. And it's up to them, ultimately. You guys, provide the explanation. If you're being sponsored by Fansly, 18 plus only, surely. Yes, if one of your main sponsors is an adult content website, I feel like the whole event should be 18 plus. What else do you say? What else do you say? But that's really the situation. I have a more like comprehensive version that I'm gonna upload on YouTube after the stream, but yeah, that's really it for that particular situation. But ladies and gentlemen, I've fallen behind because mixed in with all of the gifted memberships were some super chats as well. And boy, please do not do supers for the next. No! It refreshed my page. Hold on. I gotta stay focused. This is a mess. Okay, first of all, we got 50 from Silver saying this is so funny. We should let Straw do more math. Listen. We gotta keep focused here. Fallen Hero with a 5 saying Frieren doesn't have enough votes, so 5 more for her. Okay, 5 more for Frieren. Thank you very much. Then Catalyst with the 10 saying, I still am yet to watch Frieren, but I'm voting for her anyways. Only donate if you can afford it. Absolutely, gentlemen. Only vote or super chat, do whatever, if you can. An Anime Kid with a 10 saying 10 for Rebecca. She was willing to do anything for David. Anything. Just gotta say, Filian and Mori is goated. The haters secretly love him. True, and also respect for respecting loyalty. That's 10 more for Rebecca. Rebecca's hanging in there. Hanging in there by a thread. Lander with the 5 saying, just remembered how many books Frieren has and all the interesting things she might know how to do. So, yeah, Frieren, sure, lots of spicy grimoires. That's some out of the box thinking. See, my fan base is so intelligent. They're thinking outside the box. And Wolfblight with a 5 saying, did you see the disgusting way some people are responding to Silvervale's brother passing away? Yes. Very unfortunately. You know, there was a time on the internet, there was never a time where, you know, some things were always sacred, but there was a time where it felt like things could be sacred, right? Someone passes away. And you're not going to see a bunch of people going mask off and celebrating or blaming or whatever because they don't like a VTuber. You know? It's just completely crazy. Just completely crazy. The gap grows. Listen, Rebecca heads, it's time. There's not a lot of time. I'm going to be having dinner somewhat soon. Okay? There's just not that much time left. There's not that much time. We got Two-Tail saying you see Tomoe getting death threats again. Yeah, unfortunately. I was thinking about talking about her situation because I know she was doing some fundraising for veterans, which is really cool. I could probably talk about that and honestly just spread the word about what she's doing. Which, you know, is always a good thing, helping out veterans. So, if something good can come out of that, then yeah. Let's see, what else do we got here? Okay. Matachan with the $20 super chat saying, Rev, have you ever considered co-founding your own agency or the group of all of you guys who have actual common sense to form your own? It feels wrong for these people to single each of you out. It's a very good question. I don't think personally I would ever want to take on something big like that. But if someone who is coordinated enough wanted to start some sort of loose group, right? Not like a tight-knit, very, what's the word I'm looking for? an organization with a lot of like requirements and sort of rules and things to require. If it was like a very loose thing and it was filled with people who have common sense, I'd be interested in that, especially if there was like a merch thing. I've heard about that. Like-minded individuals want to do some sort of a merch campaign together. That would be really cool. I could see that working. I'm putting it out there into the world. But thank you very much for the 20. And Crimson with the $10 super chat saying, Frieren, 100%. That's 10 more for Frieren. Get Asmon to make it. I think Asmon is done making like orgs and agencies. Like, he's had enough. Should let Straub handle the accounting. Listen, she's making dindins. I think we're having leftovers. She made some ground beef enchiladas. Delicious. Delicious. Gary Neurotic and Craig have both talked about starting their own conventions. I mean, if that was the case, that would be awesome. From either of them or both of them. That'd be very cool. For sure. For sure. Now, what else do we talk about here? Let me see. Let me, oh. Goodness gracious. No one with the $20 super chat saying, my money is on the old elf Frieren. Oh, a hagmaxer over here. Older women are in high demand these days. Ain't that the truth? Very based. Thank you for the $20 super chat. That's 20 more to Frieren. Rebecca heads. I'm looking at the chart here. It's looking rough. Okay? I need to take like a 1-minute break and we'll go over the last thing for today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to put up the verses. I have not updated this, but think about this, okay? Think about this while I'm gone. 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Nobody business. Okay, Scatter. Scatter! Didn't Rebecca start at $69? No. No. You goof. And Metachan with the 5 saying, so a group where it's total freedom and say the creator takes 0% of the earnings because he can afford it? I mean, that's ideal. I don't think that's real life, though. But, yeah, we can't be that lucky. That's true. I wouldn't mind if there was like an interest for the creator, but someone to handle that stuff while having kind of a loose rein, like having people in the group or working with who are reliable, established creators and have like a small group of people. I feel like so many companies get in trouble, especially with merch, when they like hire everyone. That's a bit of a problem. When you get too many people. I've seen this happen with companies before. Not saying who. Not saying who. Not enough desu chat. Were you instructing people to say desu? Unbelievable. Yo, in Demon Time with the 5 saying, hey, I just saw an article saying ReZero Season 4 was removed for South Asia. Is that true? If it is, Crunchyroll wants to die. That is... Why would they do that? Why on earth would they do that? That's crazy. Thank you for the 5. And... Let's... Oop, it's gonna reload, isn't it? Stop! We will watch a video. It's like, you know... You ever have like a substitute teacher? And you're like, we're gonna watch a video today. That's what we're gonna do. Regarding some news. Hey, he said desu. He said the thing. He said the thing. Yeah, Crunchyroll never put anything past them. That's for sure. Let me see here. Let me bring this up. Bring this up. We're going to talk about some gaming news. We're going to watch a little Vera Dark. And speaking of dark, I had to turn on the light in here because it is dark. No pun intended. No pun intended at all, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pause the music. We will react to this. And that'll probably be it. We'll react to this. Then do a final tally. The final tally of Frieren versus Rebecca. Check in. What the heck? Came back to check what happened to my Becca. Becca is struggling. She's struggling. She needs you, chat. And there's not much time left. Okay? But let's get into it. So I wanted to quickly watch this Vera Dark video talking about a very interesting development. One that should be happening more often, ladies and gentlemen, where Japanese companies are axing their Western studios. Getting rid of all the Western devs that are causing them so much trouble. That is a very good thing. So let's check in on what's happening here.
Over the past year, we have heard of some major shakeups within Square Enix. They had reportedly laid off staff in nearly all areas of its Western offices back in November. We knew that they were hit with a brutal 100-slide presentation from one of its shareholders about alleged mismanagement, where they even talked about problems with games like Forspoken, Babylon's Fall, and Marvel's Avengers that happened.
Absolutely based. Inject this into my veins, ladies and gentlemen. 100-slide presentation given to the problem. Directly at the problem. Western devs and anyone associated with that. Very, very based.
Happened in December, but fast forward to the middle of 2026, and now we're finding out they have fired several hundred employees. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now,
Same here,
whenever I
folks.
hear that Japanese companies are taking a step back and they're no longer focusing on chasing a global audience, but they want to shift their efforts back to making content that appeals to their home market, I think that that sounds amazing, because the reason Japanese developers have found so much success is because they are creating things that are special and unique and different. Same goes for South Korean developers.
That's the most important thing. That is so important. Imagine respecting the uniqueness of Japanese studios or Korean studios or any overseas studio. Protecting what makes them unique instead of trying to change it, trying to censor it, trying to vandalize it, like we see over and over again with localizations, with attempts to appeal to the overseas market, aka the annoying Western portion. And when I say annoying Western portion, I mean screechers on social media, tourists who want to have control instead of good products. This is the winning move. Protect the original source material in studios.
Or Chinese developers, and I don't want more of the same Western slop. Companies like Square Enix definitely have chased those sweet ESG and DEI dollars.
They're not innocent either.
But it seems that they are making an effort to take a step back and actually listen to their customers again. If that will happen, who knows? This is a pretty good sign, though. And now we are hearing that Square Enix has cut 314 more employees from FY 2025 to 2026. They went from 4,604 to 4,290 employees.
There's one major problem. I have a big issue with this. It's not enough. No. It's not enough, ladies and gentlemen. There needs to be more heads rolling, okay? 314, rookie numbers. Gotta up them, okay? In the words of Jellywig, we gotta up those numbers, okay? It's not enough. Get rid of everything that has been designed, hired, or catered to a Western market. Get rid of all of it. Not needed. Nope. All of this stuff, not needed at all. Just give the basic, raw, translated product that can be consumed. Anything beyond that is a mistake.
Enix is doing better financially. The multi-platform strategy and renewed focus on game quality is showing results, but unfortunately, it didn't come without sacrifice. And I do not like to revel in the fact that people are losing their jobs, but if you suck at that job, you probably don't deserve to have it. And we have heard a large amount of the people that they had fired and they had let go of were Westerners, people that were supposed to be communicating within this company of the Western market's interest, which definitely has not been the route they've been going.
No, and also, like with many other examples, have you noticed a difference when they fire these people? Do you notice the company falling apart or anything like that? No, if anything, it gets better. And they're getting rid of waste. Very important, okay? These people are either A, doing nothing, or B, they're causing issues. And while I won't revel, it's just like with localizers getting replaced by AI. I'm not going to revel and say this is the best thing ever. But I certainly won't feel sorry for them because they're doing a bad job. And when you do a bad job, there's consequences. It's that simple.
For several years, Westerners like myself, for example, just want high quality, fun, unique entertainment. I don't want the same slop from every single company, and I used to love Square Enix. I think that they've made a lot of great games in the past, and I hope that they continue to make good games. But if this is the sacrifice that they needed to make, and they can go back to their glory days, that is just a major win in my...
Yeah, they used to be a very respected... They were one of those Mount Rushmore types, right? Immense levels of success, immense levels of respect. Nobody questioned their products. Nobody questioned if there was going to be some forced agenda or, let's say, changes, vandalizations, some sort of ulterior motive, ESG, all these things. But they really did it to themselves. And now that they're trying to clean things up, it's a step in the right direction. That's what we have to acknowledge. Steps in the right direction. This is what it is.
My opinion. We had heard this back in November. Square Enix announces mass layoffs as restructuring plans pulls development from overseas, and they had a shift toward consolidating development in Japan, and they were closing overseas studios, which just sounds like music to my ears. Now, if this actually goes anywhere, we'll have to see. It's going to be several years before we find that out, because even after they announced these big changes, we've been getting games from them that have come out and flopped, like Frieren. This was a modern audience game.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the modern audience. That looks great. 27 players now, and 800 peak. Amazing. Yeah, let's keep doing the same thing forever.
That came and went. It is more live service slop. Nobody's really seemed to enjoy it. 817 was its all-time peak on release. 24-hour peak is 69, and in-game right now is 27. And this is a multiplayer game, so you need people in order to play this experience. And it is an early access. Maybe down the road, when it fully releases, they'll be able to make it more appealing to people. I just don't think so. It's got really bad scores, really bad player counts. I think that this is a game that they need to basically just set and forget and move past.
Yes.
But we also had heard a few months after that that Square Enix was hit with a brutal 100-slide presentation from one of its shareholders about alleged mismanagement. Other shareholders asked to pitch in with frank views, and what was so hilarious...
Bushido Blade? Yeah, that's a pretty good mention, chat. That's a good one right there.
Were some of these slides that they actually reference 56 slides later. 3D Investments points out that some folks on Metacritic called Forspoken's dialogue cringe. The media was very upset at this because they felt like it was unfair to call out these games, but I think that it is more than fair. Their new IPs had been harshly criticized, they admitted. Forspoken was described as a story devoid of charm or immersion, only worth $20 to $25, or skip it.
I just destroyed a studio with my mind. That meme lives rent-free in my head, ladies and gentlemen. That's a classic.
Cringe dialogue, bad protagonist, unlikable characters, bad acting, bad pacing, and meh generic story. This was supposed to be one of their next big games. It's already dead. Babylon's Fall, also already dead, described as monotonous and unrewarding gameplay. What a dull and boring game. The missions are repetitive and cumbersome. Combat feels clunky and unpolished. And then you have Marvel's Avengers. People felt so disappointed with this, so scammed.
So bad.
By this live service slop, and it was several years too late. I think a Marvel's Avengers game could have turned out really good, but the character designs were bad, the story was bad, the gameplay loop was bad, the monetization was bad, and it just overall wasn't fun. It was described as blatant inducement towards continuous microtransactions, and this game is so dull it lacks charm and personality. The fact that it's a live service game really hurts the overall story, and the missions are extremely repetitive and they end very abruptly, and there is a lot of grinding as if it's supposed to be this way.
Imagine being one of these people responsible for this absolute mess, and you're sitting there watching a 100-slide PowerPoint presentation, and they're just ripping you. That is a great mental picture. That brings a smile to my face. Also, good point, Freedom Fries. They can't fire the shareholders, unfortunately.
And so we were just hearing very, very bad things when this 100-slide presentation was released. It was truly and genuinely so brutal. But now that we're hearing more people are being, let go, and we're hearing they're doing better financially, it really makes me wonder what the future of Square Enix is going to be, because you know for a fact that they're going to continue to pump out remakes and remasters and reboots, but what's their new content going to look like? Because development cycles for games are extremely long. Some games take a decade to make and hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're not just going to cancel everything that's already being developed. And so how many more bad games are we going to get before this new content strategy shift actually reaches us? Who knows? But there are gamers saying, it is what it is, and maybe things could be more positive in the future for them. When you actually look at Square Enix's financials, then you'll see net sales are actually down by 8%, but how they're making up for that is merchandising, because merchandising increased by a staggering 31% year over
Dang.
year. And I do think it is because of figures and
Yes.
also collectible card games and trading card games like the Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy collaborations.
That's super
I think
fun,
that
though.
those are really the only big reasons why, because they haven't had some like major game release that's blown up and had tens.
Well, that's the problem. They gotta create new IPs, create new games. It's not just patching up the mistakes already. They need to keep up and bring out new stuff, and it's gonna take time. That's the problem. When you allow these problems to fester for so long, you got a long way to go before you start not only expelling all the toxin, but bringing in the good. It's going to take time. People are going to have to be patient. And you know what? You got no one to blame but yourself as a company when you allowed this to happen in the first place.
Millions of copies sell, so there's all of that extra merchandise. No, their merchandise sales have always been good, but now I suppose you could just categorize them as great. Every tech company and game studio had to cut the dead weight in excess. Hopefully, they're more lean and mean going forward, and I completely agree. Again, I don't like when people lose their jobs, but at the same time, these companies overhired for so many years. Now they're like, yeah, we need to get rid of the people that are not actually doing a good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the layoffs were reported last year.
Reminds me of Ubisoft, right? Obviously, gigantic company. But they have like, what, over 10,000 employees? I'm sure if you shake the tree of employment over there, you'll lose plenty of worthless cogs in their machine. And that will cut down their cost, and that will reflect on the price you have to pay for their services, their games, everything. Just get rid of the blue hairs. Get rid of the blue hairs, ladies and gentlemen. That will solve a lot of problems.
Again, a lot of American and European staff were let go. They're doing well from merchandise, not from game sales. And yeah, this could end up being really bad for them because, sure, merchandising sales are good, but they need to still sell copies of their game because
that's a
at the end of the
Band-Aid
day, they're
fix.
still a video game software company.
Yep.
And we've also heard that Square Enix, like many other companies, are moving away from console exclusivity. They want their games to release on as many platforms at possible at launch, which I think is a no-brainer. It's stupid to force people to wait to buy something for a year or 2 years, depending on how long that exclusivity deal is for. And I think that it's always smarter to have as strong of an audience out of the gate. So yeah, we're hearing of a lot of changes happening with Square Enix. We're definitely going to have to
Change
see
is good.
what
Change is needed.
and what is going to change within this studio. But oh boy, now that we actually see these numbers added up, it's several hundred employees, and all I can say is it is what it is.
Not enough is what I'm saying. I hope this is a very good first step to, like I said, expelling the waste, but also creating a new pattern, a new culture, a new focus that can go into the future and help turn companies like this around, because we've seen enough and people have had enough, and it's reflected in the sales. But whether this works out or not, we're just going to have to wait and see. But that's really it, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to do the final tally. What do we got here? Well, I'll play some music. Here we go. Keon with a 10 saying, Rev, thank you for your coverage of the Offkai hypocrisy last year. Because of you and your lovely wife, I found my Oshi Kirsha. Voting for Frieren to celebrate the Foxu finally starting the series. Oh, very cool. Yeah, it's 10 more for Frieren. Rebecca Stans, you got like 2 minutes. Okay, you got like 2 minutes to turn this thing around. Intimidator with a 5 saying, hey Rev, hope you're doing well today. I am. I hope you're doing well as well. Saying, just heading home for my niece's high school graduation. Congratulations to her. As I drive home, I have something to listen to. I'm glad I can provide that to you guys. Something in the background, whether you're at work, driving, what have you. Good stuff. And Kleineru with the 5 Canadian bucks saying, I've worked alongside the Square Enix QA for the Avengers game. That's cool. Nobody came to their memento frame Placide at their studio after release says a lot. Yeah, unfortunately, that does seem to be, well, what's expected of that IP. That was a big disaster. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's see the total here. I got to add up the new ones here. So I'll do the Rebecca one first. There's not much to add. I'm sorry to say. 92 is where Rebecca is standing at the moment. But Frieren, let's see here. Goodness. That is the total right now. With 1 or so minutes left, it is 177 for Frieren, 92 for Rebecca. I'm going to start the clock. 1 minute. 1 minute, folks. Anything after the minute, that's it. But we're going to be closing out the stream. And I'm going to get some dindins. Well, wait a second. Wait a minute. 18 wheels and a drone with the 20 for Rebecca. Rebecca's alive! Possibly. Possibly. What are the oranges for? They're for Rebecca right now. That's right. More for Frieren fast. Can't let the last minute supers overtake. I don't know. About 30 seconds left. 2,000 for Halo. That's right. That's right. Love you, Becca. But elves got hands. Fair enough, guys. That's very fair. But I'll update this now. A last minute effort. But will it be enough? I'm going to count it down, ladies and gentlemen. 15. 14. 13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. Ladies and gentlemen, Frieren is the winner of today's Saturday Showdown. Everyone give a round of applause for the Hag Elf. The Hag Elf has won at 177 versus 112. A valiant effort, but not quite enough. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you so much. That's going to do it for this stream. Another very fun Saturday Showdown. Another fun stream. Those knife ears win again. What can I say? But thank you guys for hanging out today. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the participation. The crazy number of gifted memberships as well. But most importantly, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I'm taking tomorrow off, and I will return on Monday with another stream, and we got a video that'll be prepped for tomorrow as well. But thank you for hanging out. I hope you all have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or night. God bless you all, and peace. Oot.